Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your timeless romantic soulmate contract read for November 2020. I'm your reader, Angelo, lYONS, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Joining the Circle Productions, fellow Earth sign Virgo that I am, the Archangel of lYONS, Angelo, lYONS. But you can call me now. Hi. Hi. Welcome back, my subscribers. Yeah, we're doing another soulmate contract read. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract read with an extended over on Vimeo. You're used to it by now, and if you're new to my channel, please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment and all that stuff so I can get my numbers up to 30,000 so that I can have the membership button, join thingy, so that I can put all the extendeds here as well as on Vimeo, right? It's a lot of work, but I kind of love doing these reads. In particular, the soulmate reads are kind of my favorite. So, already did Aries, chugging along, first day back after the Halloween weekend. Tomorrow's election day. I'm doing these the day before to post them. So let's get up in this gig. This is a general read. We are doing 12 cards here, 12 cards on Vimeo, although you will see the 13th card in the preview at the end. Just letting you know, if you hang out till the end, you get to see what the 13th card is. Otherwise, jump over to Vimeo.com where you have to pay it's pay-per-view, $5 per video. You know, if we do the membership thing, you pay one price per month and you get access to all of them. Just saying, Earth sign that I am, right? Economical, you know, for your astrological and tarological needs. Do remember this is a general read, right? Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. What's going on in your body as you're watching any reading, not just my own that I'm giving you here. Because really, particularly for Earth signs, our intuition tends to be visceral. It tends to be like when your stomach turns, not just your mind saying, I don't like it, right? So that being said, let's define soulmate quickly. It is a form of soul contract. It is definitely different than a twin flame contract. Although they're both soul contracts, they're very, very different. Your soulmates and your twin flames, you have more than one. They're not all romantic sexual. In fact, they're kind of the two categories that a lot of relationship contracts manifest in. Soulmates, you help each other heal, right? Lovely, right? Romantic or otherwise. My mom and I are soulmates. We help each other heal all the time. Twin flames, you teach each other how to heal yourself, how to love yourselves, how to set boundaries and self-respect, all that self-stuff. In other words, they are turbulent, they are transformative, they can be very traumatic. My father and I were a twin flame contract, so there you have it. I guess I was born, quite literally, to learn and teach and read about these soul contract thingy-hoo-ha doodahs along the path of true love that we find ourselves on. So, we are looking at a satisfying soulmate read, but the happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying kind. So please take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Check your other signs, right? Because we've got more than one romantic thing going on, because a lot of us do in this lockdown that we're in, right? Communicating with all sorts of people. You might want to check those out, as well as your sun sign is going to get very different, well, not totally different information, but a different point of view than your moon sign or your Venus or your rising, right? And in terms of a soul contract. So let's get up in this. Follow your breath. I will do the same. We will get you your cards, the clarity, the guidance, and the grace. And me and my guides have been very active this morning, even before I started recording. So let's do this. Breathe. All the decks that I'm reading are listed all the way down in the bottom of the description box, as well as I think I have 6 videos now kind of going into the difference between soulmates and twin flames. If you want to check those out, they're really good. And one of them is by Magickal, who will be the last card down, but the last card down will be in the extended. So deal, cope, ready? Both feet on the floor, mark, Mal for short, breathe. And away we go. My collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, I need 3 cards. One for the divine feminine half of this contract, which will be on this side. One for the divine masculine, which will be on this side. And one for the center lane, representing the archetypal dynamic in the contract itself for November 2020. This has nothing to do with biological gender. I'll say it 1,000 times if necessary. So please, my collective pantheons. First, one card for the Divine Feminine in this Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract. November 2020. Same, please, for the Divine Masculine. That's 2. Please, just 1 card for the Divine Masculine in this Taurus soulmate contract. And 1, this will actually be the 13th card that gets laid down for the extended that you'll see in the preview. Please, 1 for the overall Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract, November 2020, or of course timeless. This is a timeless read. We have our foundation, that 3rd one you will see in the preview if you stick around for it or jump over to Vimeo. Wow. Okay, if you have any planets in Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, you might want to check this one out. And usually I start with the Divine Feminine. We're starting with the Divine Masculine. We've got the Martyr archetype, the exact same position, the exact same archetype as the Aries. So if you are, you know, Aries, Sun, Taurus, Moon, or however that plays itself out, you might want to check that one out. The Divine Feminine, however, here we have the Magickal Child. Now, everybody has the child archetype because everybody was a child. It's one of the 4 survival archetypes everybody has. The child, the victim, victor, the saboteur, empower, and the prostitute. And it's not about being a hooker, I promise. Maybe like 2% of the archetype is. But this is very powerful. I mean, I have to say, and also look at the time we're in. I really feel like they're bringing all the soulmates together, the romantic ones, right? Because like family soulmates and stuff, that's ongoing, that's lifelong. But a lot of us have been lifetime after lifetime being setting up for this particular lifetime, because what's going to happen when those soulmates come together and the romantic, sexual, and all chakras firing, right? It's going to really create this amazing shift in the energy on the planet. So they're already coming together. So, it's just the Magickal Child archetype. Let me do the shadow and the light. Because it's written on the card, this is the lead, this is the gold, and this is what you're helping each other heal in the shadow to become the light, right? The shadow attribute of the Magickal Child, and God, can I resonate with this as a Divine Feminine? I'm a Divine Feminine in work, and I'm a Divine Masculine in bed. Just saying. Shadow attribute, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. Like after a heartbreak, after a devastation, God, can I resonate with that? Believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Well, I'm a Virgo, so I have to take action, a mutable earth. But I get that, right? The Magickal Child is like, well, it'll just come to me. Oh my God, I've been dealing with the metaphysical, spiritual industry and community since the 80s, right? There's a lot of that, well, if it's meant to happen, it'll just happen. It's like, that's magical thinking, which is a psychological term that you should look up, by the way. Just saying, babies have magical thinking. They cry, people pick them up, right? They change their diapers, they feed them, stick a tit in their mouth, right? All that. And, you know, they never have to communicate their real needs. People, have you dealt with somebody like that? Have you been somebody like this? You expect people to know what's going on. That's magical thinking, psychological version. The light attribute, though, I love this. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. Sacred beauty means beauty of the divine, beauty of the sacred within things in a magical way, right? The belief that everything is possible. So I'm digging this here. Now, the martyr archetype, don't freak out if you are the Divine Masculine in this, because as toxic as the shadow is, I almost want to say with the martyr archetype in its light, it's almost twice as bright as the shadow. The shadow addiction to self-pity, right? There is a a chemical component to all emotions. Self-pity is something that you can be physically addicted to in that biochemical sense, right? Hormones and cortisol and all that. But the light attribute, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Now, that this came out in the Divine Masculine position for Aries, and I shuffled the crap out of these cards. You watched me do it, right? That's why I start shuffling them right after I hit the record button. So let's see what's going on here with this too. I mean, now again, this is not a literal child, right? Everybody has that child, the child of their heart, their inner child. And the child archetype is the guardian of safety and innocence, right? But in this case, the Magickal Child is sub-archetype of, you got the nature child and the divine child and the eternal child and the wounded child and the orphan child. So we're going to clarify it with 2 element spreads, one for the Divine Feminine, with the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, one for the Divine Masculine with the Mythic Tarot, and these same two decks will be used in the Extended to Do Simple Timeline, past, present, future, except we're going to swap the decks. So Daughters of the Moon would be for the masculine, Mythic Tarot for the feminine. Because you got to blend that yin and yang wherever you can. Tao! Breathe. Tao, that's silly. Lao Tzu, silly but silly. My goddesses, please. The Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Ooh, I have, I need 5 cards in clarity for this Divine Feminine dealing with the magical child archetype, perhaps within herself, someone else, a situation. Kind of feels like that's because everybody's got the child archetype. That really feels like that's something she's dealing with within herself in some way. Please, fire, earth, air, water, spirit. Help me clarify who this is for whoever is watching, please. Element of fire, what does she desire in this soulmate contract? Element of earth, what does she have? The fuel to help her get what she wants, right? Fire needs fuel like wood or coal. So that's what she has in this contract to help her get what she wants. Fire needs air, so what's her element of air? What is she predominantly thinking about this soulmate contract? Element of water, emotions. What is she feeling about this contract? And I think the most important in the element spread, the card of spirit. What is the Divine Feminine magical child soul saying about this, right? The point of view, the voice of the soul in this soulmate contract, right? Because the soul was chosen to play this role. Now, before we dive into that, we're going to do the same with the Divine Masculine so that we can flip over their elements simultaneously. Breathe. My gods, the Divine Masculine, the Divine Yang energy of the universe, please. Same thing. 5 cards in clarity. For this Divine Masculine dealing with the Martyr archetype, again, within themselves, within another. I don't feel that that's reaching across the table that way, though. But in some situation within themselves or otherwise, please, 5 cards, element spread for this Divine Masculine, this Aries collective sun, Taurus collective sun, moon, rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract. What is his power of fire? What does he want in this contract? What is his element of earth? What he has to help him get what he wants. His element of air. What does he think about this predominantly? No, that's 2 cards. Sneaky, sneaky. I get it. He could be of 2 minds about this. Divine Masculines and soulmates. No shock there. Please, what is his element of air? What does he predominantly think about this soulmate contract? Element of water. What does he predominantly feel about this soulmate contract? And of course, the card of spirit, the element of spirit. What is the point of view or the voice of this Divine Masculine Martyr soul in this happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract, November 2020. Shall we? Element of fire. What do they desire? What do they want? Ooh. Well, the Divine Feminine wants 6 of Cups, called compassion in this deck, right? It's an equal give and take of emotional energy, right? It's harmony, it's balance. Here you see one woman laying in the sand with 5 women ministering to her, reiki, schmakey, eggs and bakey, whatever's going on there, right? So it's like she's a member of the group. She's holding one of the cups in her hand, so that even really says that as her cup is being refilled, she will then, interact for that equal give and take. But here, the Divine Masculine has the Divine Masculine card of the Emperor, the amalgamation of the 4 kings in the court cards, fire, earth, air, and water. So he wants to be dominant here, right? He wants to be in control. He wants to take charge, to lead, to throw lightning. This is Zeus. Now, you know what Zeus is a divine masculine does when he's got a soulmate contract. Oh, he will disguise himself. You know, turn into a cloud of light. In one myth, he appeared as a golden shower. I was like, oh, you really need to retranslate that. You know what I'm saying? So the Emperor and the Six of Cups, very interesting what they want. I mean, this is very divine feminine and this is very divine masculine, right? So they're true to type. Again, has nothing to do with biological gender at all or gender preference or any of that. What's their element of earth? Well, now she's got a major arcana card. What she's got right now is the Hermit. So these two are at least not together. And if they are, she's got the ability to pull back, right? This is the crone of the maiden, mother, and crone in this deck. The Priestess is the maiden, the Empress, the mother, the Hermit, the crone, the Kaliak, who rides above on a gray horse above, well, a stone circle. Let's not say it's Stonehenge. I think this one came up in the Aries read as well for the Divine Feminine. And interesting, the Divine Masculine has the Knight of Pentacles, Mutable Earth, the Virgo card. So it feels like he's slow and steady, has what he's taking. Because look, well, when you put them this way, this is how they look on my table as I look at them. The slow and steady, the slowest moving knight, making his way towards the Emperor. So there is some physical attainment here. This might be somebody who just doesn't want to like control the relationship, but have that sense of slow and steady wins the race. Like an emperor, it rules over kings. You see what I'm saying? So that kind of power, but is willing to go there slow and steady. Now, by the way, the kind of power we're looking at here has the flavor of the Martyr. In its lightness, it is transcendent, right? Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or another. So an emperor serves, right? A healthy emperor serves as well as served. Like an emperor who only gets served and does not serve, that's where we really get that toxic tyrant vibe here. And I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that vibe at all. But definitely, this is a hard worker. This is somebody who's really focused. And this does feel like external work, almost like they're building their empire. Right? That could be financially, that could be in business, that could be building a home, but a home that's not just a castle, an empire. It does feel larger. So for a magical child to be attracted to an emperor that way, that could be interesting, although this could have some daddy overtones in it. It is the divine masculine card of the tarot, in my experience. Well, you got, I mean, this is with this Hermit. She's like, I'm good. I am good. Almost like that Nine of Pentacles. I'm good. Either one of these could be the Earth sign, obviously. Could be the Taurus. But feeling for her, she's like, go ahead. You take your time. Oh. And their horses, the horses are on the track. This is how I'm seeing them from my point of view. They're going in opposite directions. Now, that doesn't mean they're not going to come back together. Sometimes you have to go. Sometimes the fastest route in terms of the divine plan is in the opposite direction to get to where you want to go, right? If that's where the journey is taking you. But she's going inward and upward, not necessarily away. This is not the Eight of Cups. This is the Hermit. She's going in, well, and with that magical child. Maybe she needs some alone time. You know, maybe she needs some solitary time, feeling a little lonely, a little sad, a little depressed. But if she's really wanting this equal exchange, then she probably has to refill her own cup right now, because it does feel like these two might know each other. Unless this divine feminine is just recovering from some heartbreak or some trauma or some pain or loss of some kind, then maybe perhaps they haven't met yet, but I feel like she's good. Right? Like, she's good, and she wants her emotional balance. She wants her healing. He is slow and steady, wins the race, but getting there, acquiring power. Fascinating. What are they thinking about all of this? Well, she's appraising the crap out of it. Like, I'm really leaning towards this divine feminine predominantly being the Taurus, because she's sitting back, right? You know, Seven of Pentacles. She's like, do I want to plant these again? Yeah, they're a nice color, and they yielded a lot. You know what? How about I keep half of the seeds, and I'll sell the other half, or maybe I'll give some for, I don't know, Yule gifts or something, or save them for next Letha. Just making it somewhat timely in the Wheel of the Year. But assigning value, like really thinking about the value and thinking about this contract. What is the value of this? Now I get the feeling these two have had a past together. So if we shifted from you not knowing them to knowing them, we'll see how this goes. Because in his mind, he's thinking about this as the Five of Wands, a challenge, right? A challenge of wills. It's like if this... Well, if there are people getting in the way of these two, he's thinking of the strategy of how to do this, of how to conquer and how to win. Now, it's not the victory card. That would be the next, the Six of Wands. This is the Five of Wands. This is Jason and the Argonauts battling the dragon to retrieve the golden fleece. So there is a goal here. There is definitely something that he wants. That emperor, perhaps the power... because he's thinking about well, this challenge and that challenge, and how are we going to do that, and what if that one says that, and yeah, interesting. So appraisal, in a way, they're both appraising mentally, though, particularly that Five of Wands, unless that Five of Wands within the Divine Masculine is really conflict of thought, just battling himself in his mind, or thinking about perhaps a past argument. Now, like I said in the extended reading, we're going to do a past, present, future timeline, so we'll see if that shows itself. I'll remember that. What are they feeling? Their element of water. Well, she's got the Ace of Cups. Now, remember I said here the woman laying on the beach is holding a cup in her hand. I don't know if you can see that from there. It feels like that. It feels like she's bringing new happiness and new love, nurturing that within herself, alchemizing this magical child from a place of pessimism, depression, and belief in miracles to the belief that everything is possible, seeing the sacred beauty in all things, meaning sometimes the symbolic meaning of things, the stories that we find ourselves in, where he's got the High Priestess. Now, look, the High Priestess is certainly a card of secrets, right? Always... Well, she doesn't have the scroll in this one, but, you know, Rider-Waite, Pamela Coleman-Smith, you know, she's got the secret scroll, and part of the letters are covered, so you can't really see what the whole word is. So, yes, there's some stuff hidden here, some secrets here. But because it's in the water position, I don't think it's just he's hiding how he's feeling. Like, there are other cards that could have come up with that. His intuition's plugged in. And, you know, I have to say, even in the Aries reading, the Divine Masculine seemed along the way spiritually. Now, again, we're not talking men and women here, but it seems that the Divine Feminine leads the way to all the spiritual growth stuff, and then the Divine Masculine takes it like martial arts spirituality, right? That whole, it's the warrior's path, the warrior's code. A lot of pagans have the warrior's code going on for them, whether they're aware of it or not, right? So it definitely feels very, very masculine here, but there is this deeper connection to intuition, and maybe even getting downloads intuitively from the divine. So very interesting. She's got water and water. He's got spirit and water, a major arcana card. Yeah, I get the iffy feeling that you two are feeling with this. You know each other. You know each other. And if you don't, it doesn't make sense what you're appraising, unless you are appraising past, the Divine Feminine's appraising, you know, past relationships. Does she even want to do this again? Is it worth it all? And he might be thinking about the past struggles and conflicts that he's had with romantic relationships as well. Remember, I have to say he and she so my brain doesn't blow up. What's going on in the card of spirit, the point of view of the soul? Well, she's got the Six of Pentacles, success, right? That balance, that physical balance. This is a sort of like a Special Olympics wheelchair race. Everybody who's in the race wins in that sense, but really breaking through, like whatever that Five of Pentacles was, she's moving through. So her soul is saying, keep going. There is interior success here for you. There is definitely a breakthrough moment. One of the lessons that you have been struggling with, if you're the Divine Feminine magical child here, whatever you have been struggling with in that Five of Coins, perhaps feeling left out of the cold, the earthquake card in this deck, shaken. you're halfway through it, more than halfway through it to the 10, but on a soul level. That's how the soul sees you, its point of view, where his soul sees him as Prometheus, the hanged man. So saying, dude, hang out, right? You need to see this differently, and not just an intellectual difference, to see this from the point of view of the soul, almost like suspended animation, a card of sacrifice usually, going back to Odin and the world tree Yggdrasil, right? Connecting the 9 realms, plucked out his eye, hung himself upside down from the tree for 9 days, and the runes and all of these other things were revealed to him. In other words, things can be revealed to you, but you have to kind of upend the way you're doing this. Really, not just surrender and letting go, but in a sense, all right, I am willing to sacrifice my point of view. I am willing to sacrifice me trying to control this and make this happen, because this is definitely a let it happen card, the Hanged Man. Wait upon the will of heaven. Wait for the winds to blow the guidance and grace your way, instead of just powering through it like divine masculines usually do, and that's okay. They're built for that. That's part of their journey too, just like, and I hate to say it, divine feminines, we can get very into our emotions, particularly the darker, sadder ones, and spend lots of time there, as we see pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. So, you know, these are ancient dynamics that are evolving as we heal them within ourselves, our own divine masculine, feminine balance. Of course, these relationships take on newer dynamics, and of course, because of the quantum entanglement, as one heals, the other heals, and back and forth. But I like this guy. Like, I don't feel like there's anything icky going on here. Three major arcana cards: the Emperor in fire, the High Priestess in water, and the Hangman in spirit. So I like this. It's a bit of a mystery to him, though, like, particularly if he's not tuned into his intuitive thing. Now, I can't not think of that as a male, but certainly regardless of gender, intuition's a tricky gnosis, a tricky knowing. Such a bad pun. So those are the cards we're going to see for this reading, but I am going to pop it up in the overview to see what we can see and put it all together for you. Ready? Nice deep breath. Magic clap. Okay, so we've got the Divine Feminine with the magical child archetype in the shadow. Pessimism, depression and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. The light that she's alchemizing in this contract, or alchemizing into the light, seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things, the belief that everything is possible. So, you know, she might very well, like, if these two really do know each other, she might believe, like, this is going to happen, but there's nothing I can do right now, so I am just going to focus on me. Granted, the mind there is appraising things, but what she really wants is that Six of Cups, right? That compassionate give and take, that empathy that says, I can feel you are suffering, let me help you, knowing that when it's my turn, that you will be there for me too. I do feel like there's an element of loss that has gone on here, but it may not be directly about this contract, right? Because we've all experienced, oh my God, a lot of us lost our vacations this year, our plans, our dreams. But, you know, what you surrender willingly returns. What you cling to is torn from you. It's just the paradox of how this world is scripted. So for her to go into the Hermit is incredibly wise, saying that let me start giving myself some of that compassion, that time, that space, that breath, that rest, that love that only I can give myself to raise my vibration, at least to the point where I can see things from my soul's point of view. And I think that's very much what the Hermit is about. It's not so much locking yourself into a house as it is going further in and higher up within your own chakra system, within your own energy system, within your own soul, your own spirit, to see things from the soul's point of view. With the appraisal card in the air, it really very well might be looking back over her life, right? Particularly with that Hermit in her element of earth. She might be looking back at all of her relationships, which would certainly be the case if these two have not met or don't know each other. There's a difference. You might know each other online, right? 2020 being what it is, but you might not have actually met face to face in physical form. So there's that appraisal going on there, and I feel like that's wise. particularly for a magical child to take on the role, or at least the positioning of the hermit, I just think is a wise thing to do. Not just running away or hiding, but really climbing upwards to see the larger picture. And with that Ace of Cups, I just heard this, her heart is refilled, refueled because of that hermit card, right? Her desire for compassion, it's going to begin with herself. Selfish compassion is not narcissism. It is self-love, self-care, self-healing. So she's got a really strong beginning there. And I do feel like she wants to be in love. And if she does know this divine masculine, then she has that Ace of Cups, that offering of love, at least within her heart. Now, maybe that divine masculine handed her that cup, that offer, hence the pulling back, right? Making sure, wanting it to be balanced, doing the hermit thing, and appraising in the mind. But certainly, I love this. With the Six of Pentacles in the spirit position, the voice of the soul, we're really seeing the soul say this is going to be balanced, right? A 6 and a 6. She wants 6 of Cups. She gets 6 of Pentacles, or at least that she's saying that's what's coming. But there's lots of inner breakthroughs here for her. But because it's a pentacle, I am saying that whatever handicaps, that's a good way to look at this. I don't like using that word, but it's right there. Whatever handicaps, right, are here to make them stronger, are here to balance this out. It's going to take work and it's going to take effort. But it's almost like her soul is saying, hang in there. The race isn't over. Even though the race is over here in this picture, in the Journey of Pentacles, it's only a 6, not quite a 10. Jumping over to the Divine Masculine with the Martyr archetype, shadow attribute, addiction to self-pity, covered that, right? The light attribute, learning to the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Now, of course, there's suffering involved in the Martyr archetype, and I do feel like this Divine Masculine has suffered. Now, the addiction to self-pity, that's going to play itself out in different percentages for any Divine Masculine who might be involved or watching this reading. But I'm going to say it's a learning, right? That's the first word of the light attribute. Learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause, and maybe the cause of this soulmate contract. If people could understand the holographic effects of happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contracts, it almost it like heals every chakra, at least to the next plateau, right? The next level, however you want to see that. But because that's the quantum entanglement of soulmates, they're helping each other heal that way, as one heals, the other one does. But also that ripple effect that then goes out, activating other soulmates. So there really is a cause here. This isn't just about his own gratification, but with the Emperor and what he wants, that can be slightly narcissistic in the shadow, right? Maybe a covert narcissist. But that's not really what I'm getting. That's more of an intellectual interpretation. As I'm tuning to this Emperor, he wants to have the empire. He wants the physical, not just foundation, but he wants the set up, right? He wants this to be done powerfully. He wants to take control of this. And perhaps, now that I look at it with that Emperor and that child, maybe there is a parent-child dynamic here. We do it all the time, but we transcend those in soulmate contracts. I'm not your daddy, right? I'm not your mama. I'm not your parent. I'm your equal. I'm your partner. And with a magical child at an Emperor's side, I mean, I know we're not talking archetype. We're talking archetype here and a tarot card. She could really help him get there. Right? She could really help him get there. And of course, what he has to do, that is the Knight of Pentacles. It's going to take, his time is going to be occupied, right? He's got to really focus on his health. Slow and steady wins the race. There are beehives in the background of this card. So beehives are not built overnight, nor do they instantly produce honey. It's not a press a button and squirts out honey, right? This is something that takes time and process. So it feels like he has the time, he has the process. And though the Hermit, the wise one, the Kaliak, might be turning her horse in one direction, and this Divine Masculine might be, this Knight of Pentacles might be going in opposite direction, I feel like it's their fastest way towards each other. And I've never seen that in a reading that way before. Well, I've seen it, I've just never heard them say sometimes the fastest route is the exact opposite direction. It's just the way the world works, or at least the divine plan, right? The way it's scripted. So, I mean, what he's thinking here, the Five of Wands, this is a challenge. And he's probably thinking about the challenges of how to be an emperor, and how to be an emperor in this contract, and how to be a healthy emperor, right? With that Knight of Pentacles, like, how do I do this where it's stable, where it's strong? He might very well see this divine feminine as the Empress, although her card, the Empress card, is not on her side of the table. Possibly could show up in the extended reading with the simple timelines, but maybe that's the thing. He wants to become as powerful as she is, but in a different context. More, he wants to be the divine masculine feminine version of her divine feminine power. Does that make, you know what I mean by that? And of course, there are intuitive stuff and secrets, and, you know, maybe some of his deeper emotions are really underground. This is Persephone, after all, as queen of the underworld, the pomegranate in one hand while the daisies wilt in the other. So there really is perhaps an emotional maturation going on here, or at least in terms of really coming in contact with the deeper, more secret parts of his subconscious, and particularly his intuition. And, you know, then that does make sense. Now I see that. Moving into the Hangman card, the voice of the soul, saying, hey, you got to hang out. You've got to meditate. You've got to wait on the will of heaven. And it's good that he's doing it. Slow and steady wins the race. Because with that magical child, she's taken her time too. Like, I'm not seeing, well, I'm seeing in that Six of Pentacles, in her soul position, that there is forward motion coming. But that's in the point of view of the soul, that there's great success here. Available. So it's funny, the divine feminine has this image of moving forward, although under handicap, and the divine masculine is in suspended animation, or at least on sacred pause, P-A-U-S-E, not P-A-W-S, to kind of sacrifice and learn and see things from a different perspective, perhaps even in terms of acting more upon his intuition, as indicated in the High Priestess, rather than just pure grit and strength, the battle of the Five of Wands, regardless. This is a very, very dynamic couple, and a soulmate contract that, though I don't feel like are together, I feel for a good percentage of you that you've met, you know who each other are, you might have danced together before, and some of you just have no idea who this other person is. And that's a general read for you. You know what I mean? It's like, it could really go either way. But I do feel the percentage is more towards you know each other in terms of the collective watching this. So there you have it. My Aries collective sun. I keep saying that because just there's definitely an Aries vibe here. I mean, isn't the Emperor kind of the Aries card? May the Taurus collective sun, moon, rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in this happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract, that they may help each other heal, known or unknown, together or apart. Heal, grow, learn, become the best that they can be, fulfilling their roles in the divine plan, healing their own hearts, healing each other's hearts, and therefore blessing and healing the hearts of all humanity for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is honestly my pleasure reading for you all. Please do like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. The preview is coming up next. You'll get to see what this card is. I don't even know what it is yet. The overall state of the contract from an archetypal point of view. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Help me get to 30,000 subscribers. One person at a time is how it goes anyway. And I ain't buying bots. Screw that. My honor code won't let me get away with it. No. But certainly, then you would be able to just pop over to the membership tab and watch these. Otherwise, we'll be over on Vimeo. Thank you so much, regardless of all that money and technological video stuff. Really my honor and my pleasure reading for you all, my darlings. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be. Hey, my Taurus collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus signs. Thanks for watching the preview and or jumping over to Vimeo for the extended read. Just let's do this. Let's dive right in, right? Literally took like 2 seconds in between turning the camera off and turning it on again. So we've got this divine this magical child archetype, and this martyr going on here. And like I said, that like it feels like these two are equals, but they might not be at the same level just yet, right? So, right, we got the magical child archetype, martyr archetype. So what is the archetypal dynamic for the soul contract itself for November 2020 is the lover archetype. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, all right, this is great. Now the shadow of the lover archetype is cuckoo bananas crazy, right? We've all been there, though. The shadow attribute, obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. Am I blushing? I wish I still could. Yeah, no, I've got the lover archetype. Trust me. And that's not just, by the way, well, it's in they're saying it's in the light attribute. The light attribute, great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. Now, I feel like this is going to be for that they share this, that they really love each other, but it's a spiritual thing, right? It is a this is very much about these two being in love for each other, really appreciating and wanting to celebrate that, yet going in separate directions. So why would they do that, right? Well, at least what we're seeing here in the tarot story, because they might have some fear about that, right? About maybe the self-destructive aspect of these relationships, how they can be so hard. Again, with the Seven of Pentacles on her mind and the Five of Wands on his mind, I could see them being apprehensive. That's a good word, apprehensive about it all, right? Trying to anticipate. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? Hence the chill out and hermit on this side. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Really, really cool. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go with the Healing with the Angels Oracle. Doreen Virtue's Healing with the Angels Oracle. Who is the angel assigned to this contract that either one of you, whoever's watching this, can call upon, right? Angels have to be invited in, and let's just like, oh my God, help. That's all they need, right? Breathe.